Hello everybody and welcome to another video from Tinderlost Gaming. I hope you're all been well. We are trying something different this time around for this episode. We are going to be taking a look over and going to the Arkham Horror 3rd edition board game. I'm really looking forward to playing this. Hellboy is just taking a bit of a hiatus at the moment while I finish off painting some of the models. Do like to play where I can with painted models, so we've got some of the models on the painting table for Hellboy, so he will be making a return to the channel. But this time I thought I'd move to one of my other favourite genres, or probably the favourite genre I've got, which is a Lovecraftian Arkham top based game. What I will endeavour to do in this video is stop saying or as much as I have been in the past. So my apologies, going through video editing, I've only just noticed, and I think I've just done it there again, how many times I say the word or so my apologies for that. It's a natural thing that I think, again, doing it. But there we go. So moving on, we are playing Arkham Horror 3rd edition. So let's have a look over at the scenario we're going to be playing. And we're going to be playing the Pale Lantern, which is from the Underdark Waves expansion. This was a big expansion for the game, and I haven't actually played too many of the expansion scenarios, so looking forward to getting this one on the table. So let's read up and see where we are from the story so far. In the mist-shrouded town of Kingsport, the elite prosper within the newly founded social group called the Lantern Club. What could go wrong? Lovecraftian game with a social group. Yeah, so this should be interesting. In the alleys and gutters, people once reported missing reappear, bereft of their memories and mere shadows of their former selves. And we start off over on the river docks, and I'm going to cut to the main map in a second. This has got a reckoning, this card, and we'll again cover off reckonings when we get there, but this says each investigator with doom in their space suffers one horror unless they discard one focus. So again, we'll cover off that in a second. We have produced the monster deck, we've got the Mythos Cup, and we're going to sort of go through the final bits of setup in a second. Before we do that, let's have a look at what characters we're going to be playing through the course of this. I'm going to be going double-handed, and the first character that we've got up is Dexter Drake. Now Dexter Drake is a magician. His ability is magical gift. Once per round while resolving a lore test, you may re-roll one or all of your dice. So that's quite a good gift to have. His focus limit is equal to the number of spells that he has, and he's currently got one. He starts off with one, so his focus limit at the moment is one. He's got the Mists of Rylea spell, which is on the right hand side there. You may test lore in place of observation as part of an evade action. So pretty good. He has 5 health and 7 sanity, so pretty decent on the sanity side. Little bit weaker, but you can't have everything with these types of characters. He's got 4 lore, which is awesome. 3 influence, 2 observation, 2 strength, and 2 will. And his other item, which I've picked for him, he gets the choice of a couple that I've picked. So the other item I've got is the Magician's Cane. You get +2 lore when casting a spell, so he goes up to lore 6. So as you can imagine, he's going to be the main spellcaster for this, and hopefully the main warder of doom, etc. So Dexter, he looks pretty decent. Then we go on to Michael McGlynn, or I'm going to call him Mick. His special ability is Out for Revenge. After you defeat a monster as part of an attack action, you recover 1 sanity or focus 1 skill of your choice. His focus limit is 1. There are things in the game that sort of negate that a little bit, so we'll see what we come across. A little bit more hardy than Dexter at 8 health, but a little bit less less on the sanity for him. He's 4, and he's going to be our lead investigator. So if anything that requires anything to do with the lead investigator, he will be our lead investigator. He comes with a good old Chicago typewriter, which means he gets +4 to any strength test as part of an attack action. And he's got, I picked the old boiler for him, which is 5 health vehicle. After you perform a move action, you may deal 2 damage to 1 monster you're engaged with and 2 damage to this card. So yeah, I mean it's gonna do some damage to a monster when you run it over. So I quite like the look of that one. He's 2 law, 3 influence, 1 observation, 4 strength, and 3 will. So you can see that I've gone for a bit of a theme here. I've gone for really 2 characters that are really focused in a particular area. Michael's my hitman, my strength man. He's going to be the one clobbering some mythos monsters, hopefully. And Dexter's going to be the one that's going to do a bit of the heavy lifting when it comes to warding, magical type stuff. So let's cut across to the main board. Now, as you can see, this game is quite table intensive, and the scenario we're playing, as I've said, is the Pale Lantern, and this is split into 2 different sections. Over here on the left hand side, you've got downtown Merchant District and uptown as one area effectively, and they're not actually physically connected to the board, but they are connected in other ways. Is Central Kingsport and Kingsport Harbour. Now you can see we've got additional things here that came in the Dark Waves, under Dark Waves expansion. These are travel routes effectively. So you've got 2 roadways there that connect to this roadway here, and you've got a railway station which connects to this railway station here. So there is a way of getting across the board. You have to pay $1 to move across, but I'm sure we'll come across that during the course of the gameplay. So not physically connected, but connected in regards to you can move from one area to the other. We do start off, also there is another additional element to the Under Dark Waves expansion and this particular scenario. We've got this addition here, which is it's marked as Strange High House. It is considered part of this area for all intents and purposes, but it does have its own deck for encounters, which is going to be really interesting. As do the travel routes, they've got their own deck for encounters. Standard encounters there for the rest of them, plus the streets. So these are all of our encounter decks here. Obviously relevant to the different areas that we've got. We will be using a new anomaly deck from this expansion, which is called the Visions of the Moon, which is this anomaly deck here. I've been through and sorted out the 13 headline cards here. We've spawned Doom as per the scenario sheet, which has got 1 up in downtown Independence Square. We've got 1 at Merchant District, the Uninvited Isle. We've got 1 at Hangman's Hill at Uptown. We've got 1 at Hall School in Central Kingsport, and then we've got 1 at St Erasmus's home in Kingsport Harbour. The scenario also dictates a couple of monsters on the board as well. We've got a prowling abductor here and a swooping scavenger up in the top corner there. The way I like to play the game, and this is the way I'm going to be playing it all the way through, is I'm not going to look at the other side of the card, the enemy card, until it engages somebody or I engage it. Just think that makes it a bit more fun, a bit more exciting. We never know what we're going to be coming up against, so we'll leave those turned over. So they're spawned there. A couple of things we've got left to do. We've got our monsters all shuffled and ready there. We've got our other deck where we can pull Doom and clues and the like from all over there, all shuffled in, ready to go. We've got our codex as dictated by the scenario over here, which I'm going to go through in a second. One final thing we need to do in regards to setup, and I'll just flick across to the side deck so you can see. We've got our cards to pull out for our display, if you like. So let's give these a good old shuffle. We'll do what's called a cat weasel shuffle, and if Cat Weasel's watching, he'll know exactly what I mean by that. Thank you, Cat Weasel. Big fan of yours, been a fan for ages. Let's do a cut and then put those down there, and then we've got to roll 5 of these out. So first one we're going to get is a warding stone. That is 2 costs. Once per round as part of a ward action, you may spend 1 remnant to re-roll any number of dice. That's pretty cool. It's 2 sanity on it as well. Then we've got the Elder Sign Amulet, $4. Once per round of 2 or more horror will be dealt to this card. Prevent one of that horror. That's cool. Then we've got Leather Coat, always a classic. 3 costs. You get +1 observation as part of an evade. Then we've got Bulletproof Vest, 4 costs. Once per round of 2 or more damage will be dealt to this card. Prevent 1 of that damage. Bit of a health thing for the Elder Sign sort of thing. And finally, we've got Map of Arkham. While you're in a street space, monsters do not engage you unless you attack them. Haven't seen that one for a while. So those are our 5 cards for the display. Oh, I need to give some money to Dexter, and he gets $2. So Dexter gets 2, and Michael's going to get 3, I think. Yeah, 3. Michael's going to get $3. Like I say, he's our lead investigator, so we'll put that on there so we know what we're doing. Okay. Mythos Cup we've got sorted out down here. So this scenario tells us to put 3 doom in. We've got our little bag here, so we can't really see what's going on. Let's put these in. Then we've got 2 clues, 2 newspaper headlines, 2 monsters, 1 gate burst, 1 reckoning, and then 3 blanks. We're playing on standard, if you like. Okay, there is a story mode where you can add extra blanks in, but we're just going to play and get murdered ourselves on standard. Let's give that a good old shake up, good old root round. And the final thing I want to do, which I don't want to forget before we do that's all the scenario card set up. We've got to spawn 3 clues, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3. So 1 in Kingsport Harbour, 1 in Uptown, and 1 in Downtown. Those go on there, and then we shuffle these into the appropriate decks. 1, 2. So we're going to do a bit of moving around. Quite difficult to shuffle 3 cards up. I would agree with a lot of people. This is the only sort of fiddly bit that can get a little bit frustrating, but gives you time to think, I think, as well. Downtown, 1, 2. Mix up as best I can, especially when you're playing solo as well. Trying not to sort of game it and know whereabouts the card is. I actually can't remember. If you've spotted where it is, and you've got better eyesight than me. And then Kingsport Harbour, one of the new areas. We'll chuck that in. Oh, I can still really. I'm going to turn away for a second and sort of talk about rubbish for a second while I do that. Try and take my mind off what I was doing. So there's Kingsport Harbour done. And then we've got to spawn a Doom, or spread Doom. That's going to go in central Kingsport at the Hall School. So, Hall School, it starts the game with two Doom on it. Okay, so I think that's it for the sort of final bit of setup. We've got our codex out ready to go, so let's have a look and see what we've got here. We've got anomalies, which is when the space has three doom or a neighbour has a total of 5 doom. So just for clarity, I'm going to come away from that a second. This is a space. So here is one space. This is a neighbourhood. So if we get 3 doom on any one space, or 5 in total on the neighbourhood, then that's when the anomaly happens. So place the place anomaly in that neighbourhood. If additional doom would be placed in the neighbourhood, we would normally place it on the scenario sheet instead. If you'd resolve an encounter in the neighbourhood, well, normally you resolve it under the anomalies, and that's the Visions of the Moon deck I talked about earlier. And then once you've cleared it to 0, you can remove the anomaly from that area and you move back to normal. So that's a standard number, that's a Codex card number 2. That is a pretty standard card for use within Arkham Horror 3rd edition. The next 2 cards really do explain what we're going to be doing story-wise. So the first one is called Missing Client. And that says, my friends tell me you can be trusted to handle unusual matters with discretion and a non-judgment line. I'm beginning to worry about my associates in the Lantern Club, the social club in Kingsport, Massachusetts. Please meet me near 381 River Street at 10 p.m. on Tuesday the 8th. I fear I'm in great danger. Dolores Gadling. As the clock strikes 12, the sinking in your stomach suggests that something dire has befallen your contact. If Dolores truly is in danger, you need to look into this Lantern Club and find her before it's too late. So the clue side of things, when there are 2 or more clues on the scenario sheet, flip this card. When there's 4 or more doom on the scenario sheet, add card 84 to the codex and return this card to the archive. So key thing there, we want to be putting clues onto the scenario sheet. We've got a few to be playing with. And then Codex card 87 says, a storm rages at the top of Kingsport Head, although little more than the howl of wind reaches the streets of the town below. The curious little house at the top of the rocky cliff is hidden behind dark clouds and flashes of unusual lightning. It is far removed from the threat that faces you, but legend says that the old man who lives in the house shields Kingsport from ancient threats. Perhaps he needs someone to protect him this time. Place 3 doom tokens on this card. After you pass the test of an encounter at Strange High House, replace 1 doom token on this card with a clue token. And when we get a reckoning, we will remove 1 doom from this card, and if there's no doom on the card, flip it. Okay, so we've got to convert the doom on here to clues. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. So 3 doom going on the storm rages. And on that basis, I think we are ready to start. Can't think of anything else that I need to do. Obviously, we've got our standees over there on the river docks. We need to decide what we're going to be doing. So let's go into the action phase, the first action phase of the game. This is, I should have said this at the start of the video, as with all of my videos, this is not a tutorial video. I don't intend on going through every single rule and explaining every single thing that's going on. There are much better intros and tutorial videos out there for the games that I play. I'm just playing them solo, playing them for fun. I will make mistakes. I'm sure with games of this nature, which can get quite complex when multiple different things are going on at the same time, I am going to miss things and probably get things wrong. Not intentional. I never try and cheat or anything like that. I'm just playing them solo for fun. My apologies if I do get anything wrong. Please let me know in the comments and call me out on it if you do see anything that I've done incorrectly. Most of the time I do things incorrectly, it actually hurts me, so I don't actually gain anything out of it. But like I say, this is not a tutorial, just a fun solo playthrough. of games that I love. So without further ado, let's kick off. And in this game, although Michael or Mick is the lead investigator, he doesn't have to go first. I can choose whether Mick or Dexter goes first. They do have to use all of their actions. They get 2 actions each. You can't split actions and come back to characters. This is all actions by character, and then we move on. And you can do things like move, gather a resource, which is you gain $1. You can focus a skill, which is where you can increase by 1 the skills that have been listed. You can ward, which means removing a doom. You can attack an enemy, you can evade, you can research, which is putting a clue onto the scenario sheet, and you can trade with other investigators in your space. So I think I think I'm gonna activate, or I'll go with Dexter first of all, who is going to move 1, 2 to there. A move action, you can move 2 spaces. You can pay $1 to move further, which I am going to do. I'm going to spend one of his dollars to move 1 final space to Angman's Hill to get here ready for next turn. And for his second action, I am going to attempt to ward the Doom. Doom can become quite overpowering quite quickly in this game, so I want to try and keep on it as much as possible. And also I can move from here across to this area as well, because I think I'm going to want to spend some time concentrating over here as well. So he's going to do a ward action, and what we need to do is look at see what he gets for his ward action. A ward action is using his law, and we can see his law 4 there. So he gets 4 dice. He's not casting a spell, so his magician's cane doesn't come into it. So he's getting straight 4 dice to see whether he can ward the doom off. Now in this game, it's quite a good mechanic. You get a dice pool. Any 5s, any 6s are classed as a success. There are some things that require you to have more than 1 success, but generally speaking, taking a test is getting 1 pass. We can come through anything else that's different on that as we go through. But he's got 1 doom on him, so he's going to roll 4 dice. He needs 5s or 6s to ward. He gets 2. So if there was 2 doom on there, I would have taken 2 off, but there is 1 doom on there. Oh, let's just get rid of that for a second. There is 1 doom on there, so that goes. So good old Dexter has started not too badly. And then we've got Mitch McGlenn. Mike McGlenn. He's got a law of 2. I am going to move. I think, who do we want to go to Strange High House? Who do we want to go to Strange High House? Do we want to try and clear the clues on here first before we go across to Central Kingsport and Kingsport Harbour? Nope, my gut reaction, my initial reaction is 1, 2 to there, pay $1 to come across to there. Now because he used 2 to get there, 1, 2, he stops there. He could have, if he was here and gone 1, and then 2 would have been on here. This bit doesn't actually count as a move. So that is where Mike is. So we now go into the monster phase, because we're all done on our characters. The monster phase says each ready monster activates, usually by moving, and we can see with the prowling abductor, for example, Bottom right hand corner, it's got 2, which means it's got a move of 2. And same with the sprawling scavenger. So the prowling abductor is going to move towards and engage the lowest enemy with independent influence, and they're both 3, so I get to choose effectively. So he'll move towards, he'll go 1, 2 there towards Mick. Now the swooping scavenger even, he's got control, move towards most doom, engage lowest. So the most doom is actually central Kingsport, so he's going to go 1 into there, 2 there, and 2 to there, because he only had, it was 1 to there, nothing to go through, and then 2 out. Like I said, non-monsters treat these, they don't have to pay $1. They just go through them. So he's going to move. Oh, lowest strength. That's not Mitch. That's Mick. That's Dexter Drake. So he's going to go. My apologies. He's going to go 1, 2 down there towards Dexter, because Dexter's only strength 2, and his prey is. Oh no! Hang on. No, let's get this right. It says patrol, move towards most doom, engage lowest strength. Right, so move towards the lowest, towards most doom is the thing that's going to kick in first of all. So I was right. 1 to there, nothing to go through there, and 2 out there, because the most doom is here at Hall School with 2 doom on it. Right, we finally got that sorted. That's the monsters done. We're now going to the encounter phase, and you draw and resolve an encounter matching your space. So let's start off with Dexter, who's going to be, he's at Hangman's Hill in Uptown. So we draw the top card and we have a look and see where Hangman's Hill is. It's not the clue card, so let's read it. You spot something in the dark hollow of a gnarled tree. Gain 1 common item. So let's do that bit first. Gain 1 common item. And when we do this, we pick. When it says gain, you don't have to spend any money. So what we're looking at now are these cards along the top there. So the common items are the leather coat, which is you get +1 observation as part of an evade test. The bulletproof vest at 4. Once per round, if 2 or more damage would be dealt to this card, prevent 1 of that damage. And Map of Arkham, which is a common curio. Needless to say, Dexter's going to be taking the bulletproof vest, because that will help him out no end, which is really good. And then we then replace the card with a top, and we've got a lucky charm. Once per round, while resolving a test, you may remove 1 die from that test to re-roll any number of die. Okay, cool. So we move back to Dexter's encounter and we read on. So we've gained the 1 common item. As you grasp it, something yanks your hand into the inky space. So we've got to test strength. So Dexter is a strength of 2. Just trying to see if he gets anything else that helps him. It's not a law test, it's a strength test. So 50, well, not 50-50, but 2 dice needing 5s and 6s. We fail. We fail, so let's see what it says. If you pass by that, if you fail, an icy chill works its way up your arm before the pool releases you. You become tainted. Delightful. let's put that there for a second. We'll come back to that. So tainted are part of the condition cards up here, and again what we'll do is a little cheeky Catweasel shuffle. As I was saying earlier, Catweasel is a guy that I've been watching, and I urge anybody to go across if you enjoy watching people play board games. He is so funny and brilliant at doing it. I love his ghostly arms. Tainted, there's one for I'm going to just discuss it. So after you draw a blank or spawn a clue mythos token, place one doom in your space. Reckoning, flip this card. So you're going to have to remember that for Tainted. And then we'll put those back. There's different versions of Tainted in there. Actually, let's bring that across here so I can see it a little bit easier. Yeah, as I was saying, go and watch Catweasel, a guy called Doug Herring as well. They're two guys that I religiously watch when I want to see people playing board games. They're brilliant. So this card goes to the bottom of Uptown. But he does get a bulletproof vest out of that, which is awesome. And now we move on to the encounter phase for Mick over here. Now he's on a travel route, so we use one of the new cards, new decks. So let's see what he says. And he is at a train platform. So we read the train platform. Before you get on the train, you suspect somebody that is following you. You hope to lose your pursuer in the station before boarding. Test observation. So let's do that. He's got an observation of 1. So although he's quite good at stuff, being aware of his surroundings and knowing what's going on around him isn't his strong point. So 1 dice, needing a 5 or a 6. Well, let's take those out. 5 or a 6. He gets a 5. Get in there, Mick. Awesome. So it says, if you pass, you successfully depart without being followed. You may move one space. You may move one space or move to another train platform. Oh, well, we're going to move a space. We are going to move a space. It doesn't matter where I move to. The monster is going to. Well, no, actually, well, he's going to get me at some point. So let's move into the Congregational Hospital because we can spend money to get remnants there. So we'll do that, and then that goes off. Sorry. Then that goes to the bottom of the train or the travel routes. So that's it for the encounter phase. Both Mick and Dexter have had theirs. We now move on to the mythos phase. And this is where this bag of goodness comes in. We draw 2 of the tokens for each of the investigators, and I'll always start off with Mick so I can keep a track, and I'll draw 1 at a time. Or 2, and then we'll put the first one obviously out and then the second one. So let's just, we can see that one and that one. So we've got a gate burst and a blank for Mick. So gate burst is, just making sure I double check. Take the top card of the event deck, which is this one here. Place a doom in each space, shuffle the card into the discard and then place in the bottom. So place a doom on every single one of these. So we go 1, 2, 3. Let me just check something. We'll finish this bit off first of all. These get shuffled. Oh god, I'm not looking. I'm trying not to look at the backs when I put them down. And those go into the back of that there. So the unstable space, if it comes up, is our starting space, which is over here, just as an FYI. What I wanted to just check is in the Under Dark Waves expansion, do you place a doom on the Strange High House? Let's have a little look. mysteries. Each mystery tile is part of the neighbourhood to which it's connected. That's fine. If an effect places doom in a mystery space, that doom is counted with the rest of the connected neighbourhood for the purpose of resolving any effects that count the total number of doom in the neighbourhood, including anomalies and terror. Unlike other location and streets, mystery encounters. Okay, so I would say we need to remember we haven't done Dexter's mythos up at the moment, and we'll bring those down there so we know what we're doing. This is where I said it can get quite complex. I'm going to place a doom there because it does say in the book, and then for me that is 5 doom in an area, which creates an anomaly. When a space has 3 doom or a neighbour has a total of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's an anomaly. So, rules as written, that becomes an anomaly space. So we need to go and clear this stuff off. So that, I think, is it, because we've done the gate bursts and then we've done the blank, and then we've got 2 to pull. So we've got a monster and a doom. So the monster's straightforward. We pull that from the back of the monster deck, and we are going to get, so you can see it, avoid touched, spawn at street nearest leader, lurker. Each investigator suffers 1 horror. Oh god, he's going to be a nightmare. So streets nearest the lead investigator is Michael there. So he's got 2 monsters there. He's not going to move. He's going to stay there. So we need to deal with him straight away. So that's the monster done, and then we need to doom it, which we pull 1 from the back of the cards. You can see the doom sign there. We pull 1 from the back. And we're looking, it's Kingsport Harbour, and it's going to be rope and anchor, which means actually it doesn't. It goes on to the scenario sheet because that's what we can't place doom on this. It's already got too much. Yeah, if a neighbourhood, if an additional doom we would place, the neighbourhood would normally place that doom on the scenario sheet instead. So we've done that. We need to be aware of this missing client, which is 4. The rope and anchor now becomes the unstable space if we get anything that refers to the unstable space. So that card will stay there like that. Those stay out of the pot until we get to the next mythos phase. And then we work back from that. We go back to our actions, which is our investigators. Okay, Dexter first of all is going to try and clear this clue off here and get a clue onto his sheet. He is going to do a ward action, which is test his law, which is his 4 dice. Doesn't get anything. Oh, hang on a second, my apologies. No, Dexter didn't roll a blank. I was just remembering tainted. Dexter didn't roll a blank. He rolled a monster or a doom, and what we need to be thinking about here is a blank or a spawn clue. So we haven't worried about that. We're not gone past that yet, so that's fine. Yeah, ward action from Dexter. He's going to roll his 4 law. I'm not going to focus for the time being. Let's see. Oh, only just. He does get his clue onto his scenario sheet, or his character sheet. So that's 1 action. Don't forget, or I don't want to forget, I'm saying it more for my own benefit, when there are 2 more clues on the scenario sheet, flip this card. Now I know I could be wasting time here, but I'm going to try and research. He's got an observation of 2. That's quite bad though. He's better than Mick at 1. Or do I not worry about that for the time being? No, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, okay. I think what I'm gonna do. So that was his first move, was to get the clue. Second, he's gonna move 1. So there, he's gonna pay his dollar off his card to come through here, and he's only moved 1. He's then gonna move his second to there. I don't want to become engaged with this thing for the time being. That will stay there. It's not going to go anywhere because that's got 2 doom on it. So what we can do is we can use Dexter to maybe move around and start clearing some of this doom off, and then head up towards the strange high house. So that's Dexter's first turn. I think I'm going to be engaged by this wherever I move to on here. So again, trying to keep the doom level down. I know Mitch is not the greatest at warding. Okay, now what I could do. Actually, now let's have a think about this. Yes, let's do that. I am going to move Mitch, and he's going to go 1, 2 into the streets there, which means he's then engaged by he's engaged by both the void touched and the prowling abductor. So he's there. Get their cards across to the side show so we can see what we're doing. So the prowling abductor is a 1, -1 strength, -1 to evade. After the monster attacks, he becomes delayed. And the void touched is 2 health, no strength, no observation. Reward: after you defeat this monster as part of an attack, you gain 1 spell. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 damage onto the old boiler and do 2 damage to 1 enemy that I'm engaged with, and I'm going to choose the void touched because obviously it's 2 health. He's slightly harder to hit, but I've only got to do 1 damage. I've got to do 2 there, so I'm going to kill the void touched, and I'm going to get a remnant for that. That's quite a good one to kill, so I get the remnant. And he also gets a spell. Top of the cards, he gets Rack. Action: test 1 defense. Defeat 1 monster in your space with the remaining health equal to or lower than the test result. You may perform this action whilst engaged with a monster. Okay, that's not too bad for him. I think I could think of a better person that would have that. So the void touch goes back to the top of the deck because you draw from the bottom, so you can't see what's coming. So that was Mick's first action. 1, 2 into there. That happens as a matter of course. So his second action, he's actually going to attack the prowling abductor, and he gets 4 dice for his strength. He gets +4 because he's using his 2-handed Chicago typewriter, but he does get -1 for the prowling abductor, so down to 7 dice. We've got a remnant if we need it for a reroll. Hopefully we won't. Let's see what's going on. And we do 4 damage. 4 successes, 4 damage. We kill the prowling abductor. And that goes back to the monster deck. Good, that was successful. Nothing, didn't get anything more for the prowling abductor, no remnants or anything like that. So that was his second action. Dexter's already been as well. So That's it for the action phase. The monster phase. The swooping scavenger is the only monster that's left on the board. It's a patrol. Move towards most doom. Engage lowest strength. It is here. It could be here or it could be here, but we get to choose because it's a draw effectively, and I'm going to choose to leave it there. Why would I move it? So that's it for the monster phase. We then go on to the encounter phase, and again we'll start off with Mick, who's on the streets now. So we get a streets card, and he is in a scenic area. You hear a cry for help. A robed figure with a curved knife is assaulting some poor innocent. Test strength. Now this is not an attack action, because we're not doing it. It's not our turn. We can only do an attack action in our turn. This is a strength test. So we're rolling 4 dice. 4 dice at it. And we need to see if we get a success. Oh, we get. We're going to get 3 successes. It says, if you pass, you drive the assailant away to the grateful praise of your new best friend. For life, gain 1 ally. Awesome! Allies are very good in this game. Well, I think they are. I just like having a friend around, to be honest with you. So this is the allied deck here. We'll draw from the top, and we get Turan Garabaji. After you research 1 or more clues, you may remove 1 doom from your space. Okay, not too bad. Not the best for Mick, but you know, he's got a friend, he's got a mate. But it is 3 health and 2 sanity. That's good. That's very good. So we've got some health sanity soak there as well. I can't see Mick doing too much researching in this with an influence. Is it a research as an observation test? Yeah, an observation of 1, not the greatest. So we'll leave it there. So that was Mick's encounter. So we now go on to Dexter. He would normally be drawing from the Kingsport Harbour deck, but because this space has now got an anomaly on it, we're actually going to be drawing from the Visions of the Moon deck, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doom in our space, in our neighbourhood. So that does play account into what we talk about here. So 2 to 3. I'm assuming I'm going to read that. It says Shantax circle overhead, eager to take you to the Dreamlands. You cry to Nodens to save you. It's influence -1 test. So put that down for a second. Influence -1. Luckily enough, he's influence 3, so that takes him down to 2. We need 1 success. He gets it. He does get it. If you pass, Night Gaunts rend the creatures to pieces and you retrieve one of the Shantax talons for a souvenir. Remove up to 3 doom from your space and gain a remnant. Okay. That's not too bad, but we do get to remove the 1 doom that's in there. And we do gain a remnant for Dexter. And that's it. Don't need to read what happens if we fail. We can always come across that as we go. That's it for the encounter phase. We now move on to the mythos phase, and we will start off with Mick, as we always do. Let's bring that down in so we can see what we're going to be drawing for Mick. Give these a good old mix up. Right, there's 1, there's 2. So the first one is this, and the second one is this. Okay, so the first one is a clue. So to do a clue, we pull this out, and and this is going to be our clue, and this goes into, so we grab a clue from here, put that on there like that. We take the top 2 cards of the Central Kingsport deck. We then move, trying the best we can to shuffle, and again I'm just going to talk a whole load of gobbledygook now while I do this, just to try and take my mind off what I'm actually doing, so I can't remember which one's which. We'll leave that there. And then we've got a reckoning, which is not going to be good. So we'll work through each of the cards in turn here to make sure we get everything. Let's start off with the scenario card, because the scenario card does have a reckoning on it. And it says each investigator with doom in their space suffers 1 horror unless they discard 1 focus. So we're pretty good here. Mitch hasn't got anything in his space, and Dexter's just cleared his doom off his space. So that part of the reckoning is done. Let's move across the board. We're going to go up to here. Remove 1 doom from this card. Then if there is no doom on this card, flip it. So we're going to have to take 1 doom off that card and put that back in the tray. And then we'll work our way over to our players to see if there's any reckonings over here, which I know there is. We've got a reckoning here. After you draw a blank or spawn a chaos spawn clue mythos token, place 1 doom in your space. Reckoning, flip this card. So Dexter's going to flip this card for the tainted. Oh, I'll cover that bit up for a second. It says, the voices in your head grow louder and louder, tempting you to do unspeakable things. Finally, they offer a blissful respite in exchange for a simple promise. The whispering quiets, but you know the presence behind them will soon return for its due. Test will and resolve the effects based on that below. So test will first of all. 2 will. It's not a will -1. It's just 2 will. We get 1 success. You gain a dark pact. 2+. Nothing. No effect. Okay, so we're going to have a dark pact, which is as delightful as it sounds. Again, move that across there like that. Give these a good old shuffle, loads of these. Cat weasel cut, and we'll take that one. So on a reckoning, this one, roll 1 dice. On a roll of a 1, your debt has come due. Flip this card. So put that there like that, so we know we've got it. And all of these go back in the conditions deck. So we've done that. So that was Dexter's. No, Mick's, sorry, because we always do him first. And then we're going to now do Dexter's, who is going to get 1, 2. So he gets nothing, and then he gets a spawn doom. So we know again over here for doom, bottom 1, Central Kingsport, Hall School. Oh man. Oops. Wow. This just got real. So let's have a look at the anomalies card. When a space has 3 doom or a neighbourhood has 5 doom, there's an anomaly. So 3 doom on it. Yeah, this area's definitely chose the right area to come over to. So there's an anomaly there. And that's all we've done. So we've done 2 lots. Yep, we're all good. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be able to fit another turn in before sort of roughly an hour's up. I've got about, not got too much time left in that regards. So we'll just do a quick, very quick recap on where we're at. I think we've done okay. We've got Mick, the monster, who's apparently learning how to cast spells, but he's picked up a mate on the way, Turan. So he's looking in good shape with 3 additional health and 2 sanity. He's got a remnant as well. His old boiler's taken a bit of a banging, taking out the monster, but that was well worth it to clear those monsters. Dexter, again, it's a game of 2 halves. He's got a bulletproof vest, which gives him an additional 4 health, but effectively, if 1 or 2 or more damage would be dealt to this card, prevent 1 of that damage is really awesome. He's got a Dark Pact, and you can never tell. I love the artwork on that card. I think it's some of the best artwork I've seen them do. It's just so thematic. But we'll see whether that comes due. Knowing my dice rolling a 1 is pretty easy. But we're in a fairly good spot. We're where we need to be. We can clear some of this doom. I think it's going to be Mick that's going to go up to the Strange High House, because Dexter's will take this dude out next. Mick is going to see him off, hopefully, and then he can start to just try and do some more. And we can actually increase some of the skills if we need to, focus levels, and then I think we'll do. Actually, no, we'll get Mick to kill this, then head to the Strange High House. Dexter can then start dealing with all this doom over here and try and maintain it. Chances are it's gonna all start kicking off over here in a bit, which is just the way this game goes. I'm gonna try and get this resolved. We've got a clue as well. Dexter's got a clue on him, so we could start researching that just to get a clue onto the. I mean, there are clues underneath here once we can actually get to them. So we haven't got too far to go to get clues. We just got to clear these anomalies. Dexter's quite capable of getting these cleared off in a turn or 2, but in this game, like a lot of other board games, it's all about action efficiency and stuff like that. I don't really play like that. I play to have fun. I'm not really limited on time. I can take as long time as I need, although trying to keep these actual sessions to about an hour. But in regards to playing the game in its entirety, just like to have fun. Just roll some dice, look at some cards, make have a fun night. Anyway, on that note, I hope you've really enjoyed this session. I hope you're really enjoying or going to enjoy the few sessions it's going to be. Arkham Horror is a fairly longish game, so I can see this being a few episodes of an hour or so. I wouldn't expect to see probably maybe 3 or 4 episodes out of this, with me gabbling on as well. Doesn't help the timing. But I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying the setup of the camera angles and the flicking between the cameras. I'm trying to make it as seamless as possible with the gear I've got. But if you do like, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel and make some comments. I am considering doing a sort of a subscriber giveaway, but I'm going to be talking about that maybe in the next in one of the next videos. Don't know yet quite yet. I'm still formulating it through my head. But glad to spend some time with you. You'll take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next episode.